Good morning, everyone. It's Ann Hine. I'm going to hang out here with our banner up for just a little bit before we get started. I'm trying to find the video on my iPad. Let's see, there it is. Let's turn my volume down so I don't have to listen to myself twice. And my comments are up. Hi, Dee. Welcome this morning. Welcome. So I did post, some of you have noticed, I did post class notes for today. So if you need a moment to go get them, they're short. There's not a lot of notes today. But if you need to get them and print them out, you're welcome to go do that and then come back. That would be fine. But we'll hang out here until the top of the hour and then we'll get started. That gives everybody a chance to get things done that they need done and so forth. So, let me see, why is it only showing some comments? I think it's showing all of them. It's hard to say. Oh, there we go. All right. Hi, Britt from Sweden. Hi, Jackie. Welcome. So, if you're new, I'm Ann Hine, and I usually hang out here on the welcome page or the banner page for the first few minutes till the top of the hour. That way everyone has a chance to find their way to the page and get situated with their coffee, their tea, their water, their pen, their paper, whatever they need. And then we start at the top of the hour. Hi, Marty. Welcome. I know it's hot in PA. Whew. Yeah, we're hot here today. I don't know what our temperature is. I forgot to look before I started. Oh, I could look here. I know, I have the kiddo out in Portland, and it was like 111. It's 70 in Portland right now, and we're at 88, and it's going to go up to maybe 93 is our highest today. So, but yeah, out in Portland, they've had some scorchers. Hi, Catherine. Welcome. Hi. Now, is it Helene? Is that how we pronounce that, Helene? I have a friend here whose name is Helene, spelled the same way. So hopefully I'm pronouncing it. I'm terrible with pronouncing names and things like that. Hi, Susan. 95 in Alberta. Ooh, thank you for converting for me. All right, so we're getting down there to the last little bit. As I mentioned when I first came on, I did post the class notes, so you have a moment to go get those while I chit-chat in the beginning. And then I'll be putting the camera on in just a moment like right now. There we go. So good morning, everybody. I mean, it's morning here in Delaware, so wherever you are, hope you're having a good day. Might be morning, noon, or night. It's hard to say on that. But I'm Ann Hine, and if you're new to the page, this is how we start. I usually have that banner up for a little bit, and the reason I did that is in the very beginning, we didn't have a way to sort our videos, and Facebook would just save whatever front page it wanted. And so I made a little trick by keeping that up for 5 minutes. They pretty much that would be the page, and then people could find the video that way rather than a page with me, with my, when they stop the video, your face is always like, in a weird way. So I love that. But anyways, so that's that. And I did post, as I said, the notes, and you can find them later on. I did put them in the guides, and then this video will go in the guides also, so they'll be together, so you'll see them there. And if you haven't gone to the guides, check them out at the top of our page where the banner goes across. Just below that banner, and there's the members, there's some words. I think it says about, discussion, it might say guides. Click on guides. All of our information, all of our videos, there's worksheets in there, all kinds of stuff, all sorted into nice groupings in there. Some of it we've hashtagged so that you can find it easier by doing a hashtag with it. I try to remember to do that, but I'm not always on top of that. But you can do a word search and find things also. So you can find stuff that we've done all the way back. We started doing this last year in May, so there's quite a bit of stuff in there on that part of it. So, and I always watch over here. I have my iPad up so I can see the comments. And as we go along, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. I try to answer live. If not, I go back and I answer afterwards. So everybody gets their answers done. And so you'll see me look off to the side just a little bit so I can check to see what's happening over there. And I wear a trifocal, so I have to like look, at the right spot. Aging. It's so much fun. All right, so let me get to a couple things. First, I want to say welcome to the page, for one. And I want to let you know my schedule, because I have some fun things coming up over the next couple of weeks. The month of July is going to be really exciting. So next Tuesday, there's no 11 o'clock class here because I will be traveling that day. I'm going back west, yay, to see my baby. And so my husband and I are going out there. We're going to be doing a little bit of stuff. So we'll be out there. But normally I'm every Thursday on the Janome Sewing Machine page, and that is over here. Let me put that little thing up for that. Here we go. So you can find me over here at the Janome Sewing Machine page on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Always. It's my standard time. So next week on Thursday, I'm going to be on location. Actually, I'm going to be in Washington State, and I'm going to have a special guest. I'm not going to be at a shop, but I'm going to be seeing one of our educators, and we're going to have a little meet and greet with her, and then I will do my Janome topic, whatever that topic is from there. I think we're going to talk general embroidery information. She's a great embroiderer, so we'll have a lot of stuff going on with that. So we'll talk a little bit software, we'll talk embroidery things, so we'll have a great time with that. So that's a week from this Thursday, okay? So let's roll back just a little bit. So this Thursday, I'm going to be over on that page as always, and I'm talking about couching, and we're going to show how in the software you can create couching designs. And couching designs, when you run a yarn through your machine, not through the machine, through a little holder, and it goes under your needle, and then it gets stitched down into your shapes. So we're going to make some couching designs, and that'll be Thursday over here on that page. Okay, so this week couching, next week my special guest, and then I don't want to go too far, but then the third week I'm still going to be away, and I have some fun places that I'm going to be popping up in and showing. At the end of this month, I do have an event. I will be I'll be at the Quilter Studio in Fairfax, Virginia. I have some things going on there. You can always check their website. And the following week, I'll be at Super Stitch in Northeast PA. So I'm traveling around a little bit. So as we get closer to those, I'll let you know where I'm at, and we'll go from there. So Paula asked, can I couch on my 500? Yes, you can. Now, Janome does make a special foot for couching, and I'll be talking about that on Thursday. But any machine, any embroidery machine you can couch with, it's all based on, just bringing the yarn underneath the needle. And I've done it on the long arm. Oh, I love couching on the long arm too. When I used to be a long arm person. Now I don't do that anymore. Let's see what's going on over here. If there's any questions. Ooh, 110 out there in Portland, not Portland, but in Prineville, Oregon. Yeah, Oregon, Washington, they're getting really hit with heat that they don't normally have. And some places don't have air conditioning. When we first lived out there, our houses did not have air conditioning, and one of our cars did not. All right, so that gives me my schedule. Today on the Janome Sewing Machine page, Alba is going to be there, and she's going to be answering questions about sewing machines. So if you have questions, pop in today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on this page right here, the bottom one, Janome Sewing Machines, and Alba will be answering your questions. It's a great opportunity to have that, kind of social thing going on and be able to ask an impromptu question. She has some already set up that she'll be answering, but she'll be taking some from the audience. So always check at 3 p.m. We have lots of fun happening over there. All right, so today my topic is combine versus group, or group versus combine. It doesn't matter, but some people sometimes use the words interchangeably, and they actually do different things. So I'm going to try to explain that to you so you can see what group and what combine does. There are two great features, and we'll do a little bit with break apart. On your class notes, I did put what pages in the manual you can find group and ungroup and combine and break apart, so you can see that part of it. And then I also put the commands in there too, so you can get used to using the commands. I'm not always good at remembering the commands. If you're a computer programmer, if you've used a lot of computers, you're really used to those, and a lot of those are the same in software, in embroidery software, as they are in your other software. So you'll find a lot of those the same. But I did include both the PC ones and the Mac ones, so you'll have those. And give it a try, because it does save you a little bit of time if you if you can kind of get used to which ones they are. Me, I'm still hunting and pecking. As I told my husband, these are my typing fingers, and a secretary I am not. All right. Let's see what else is going on here before we go too much further. All right, so I am going to put on the software and get started. And if you have a question along the way, go ahead and post it, and then I can answer it from there. Okay, so here we go. And we're going to go to software. Let me get it. There we go. All right, so just a quick one, because I know we have some new people here, and I like to go over some of the new stuff. This is your welcome screen, so when you open your Artistic Digitizer, this is what you will see, whether you're in the junior version or the full. This is the full version, and I'm on a Mac, and it's pretty much the same. The only thing you cannot see is the very top row way up here. It does not show that, and that's my software is doing that. I don't know, my streaming software is doing that. But on a Mac, you have the word artistic, and there's things under there: file, view, window, and help. And those same things are on your PC when you're on a PC. So it's pretty much the same. Things are pretty much the same. If you are a Mac person, I do want to comment, I don't use a mouse on my Mac, and I have set my mouse pad, and you can do this on your PC too. You can set your tap to be in a certain place or a certain way. So I put my right click in the right bottom corner of my little touchpad, so it's easier. I was trying clicking the other way and it wasn't working, so I found how to do it that way. So you may want to try that. All right. Oh, Teresa finally caught up on the skill builders. I should build up a little test and see what we could do. We should have a day where I could say, which skill builder is XYZ, and you guys can answer out. That would be fun. Maybe. So anyway, so when you want to enter the program, you would use any of these three boxes over here on the very left. Of course, many of us love Browse, because when you open Browse and you're looking at your designs, you see all these nice thumbnails of your designs, which I really like. And let me go look at this here. We'll find another one, and we can look at what's in there. Let's see. Well, let me see what I put in there. So there, so you can see a graphic is in there, my draw file, and then my final draw file there. So it's great because you can see all of them at once. The difference is when you're over here at Open, Open is only going to show you one of those things. And let's see, we'll take this one here. So it's only showing, this is all on one picture, front and back. So it's only going to show me one file and whatever is in that, what is in that one design. This is one design. I have both a front and a back in that design. So that's how that works. All right. Okay. Oops. I didn't mean to load it. So that's what it looks like. This is a little paint stitch I did. I made it into a little wallet. And I'm just going to delete that for right now. Okay. And go back to the welcome screen. All right, and then up here is create new. Of course, this is where you would set your default hoop and machine. So you want to make sure, I like to have, I pretty much always use my GR hoop, but in the program, once I get working, I can edit and make it into a smaller hoop if I want to, or change the machine. Now the thing to remember, when you go to save your design, always save first as the default, which is draw. That's the editable format of your design, and then you can save it in your machine format. When you do that, and if you're going to, some people have two machines, and so to save in other formats, some of them require a hoop. So when you go to save and you don't find the other format there, it's because it requires a hoop. So you would just have to go to the machine hoop icon, change it to that brand and then that machine, and then pick a hoop, and you'd be good to go from there. Some of them just require the hoop parameters, so that's what that's for. This is your fabric and your background, and I have it set on white. When you have fabric, it just gives you a texture behind your work, and you can actually make any of these in here a white color if you want, or you can leave them as a texture. But for demoing, I like to have it white, and of course help files. These are your recents, and of course these are your built-in videos right here. Now I want to mention one thing somebody asked the other day about when most of the time you don't have to be online to have the software, to work with the software. You can use it without internet, and when you do, you won't see your videos. The videos will not be there because you're not on the internet, but you could go out to YouTube and find them there if you wanted to. So if you have your software offline, you can have it offline, like 30 days, and then you would just need to come back on and ping it so that it runs back through the server. So you don't have to always have it on the internet if you don't want to. So if you go somewhere where there's no internet, you can still work on your digitizing. All right, you just can't go out into the web and get things that way. All right, so let's go in, and I'm going to talk a little bit about grouping and combine, now that I got that all out of the way. And I think we're good on questions. I think so. All right, here we go. So I'm going to just go into Create New, and I'm just going to make 2 shapes, and I'm just going to start with 2 shapes and just show you some basic things, and then we're going to actually work with a couple of designs so I can show you that. All right, so to group these 2 designs, I would select them like this, and I can do a right click, and I will find Group there. I'll also find Combine there. We'll talk about that in a minute. Or if I wanted to use the command, I could use the command for grouping, which is Command G or Control G. So now when I click off and I click on just one of these, it's both of them. So now they're grouped. They're like buddies. They'll go anywhere you want them to go together, which is nice. Sometimes you want them to stay as a group. They might be layered on top of each other. We'll talk about that. And you want to keep them as a group. And then if I want to ungroup them, I can use the command U or Control U, and that would make them ungrouped. So now they're ungrouped like that. So let's put them, so we have them there. If I combine them, watch what happens when I combine. Of course, I can right click and get the combine, but when I use I can do Control L, and when they're separated, see right there, if your designs are not separated, it will give you a jump stitch between them. All right, so if you had several things on there and you combined them, that's where you're going to get little jump stitches. So they almost become one object at this point. Unlike group keeps their individuality within the group, if that makes a lot of sense. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you play with this a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about on that part of it. So we have this combined, and I'm going to uncombine it. Yeah. So you can use your break apart to bring this back apart, which is Command K. And now I have 2 pieces. So if I put this on top of there, and I'm actually going to change color of that one. Let's make it, we're just going to make it orange. Well, some color that you can see. Here we go. Pink and pink. Did it go pink? Oh, here. There we go. So they're together. There they are, one on top of the other. And when you select these, I can group them, of course, and they would stay together as this pair. So Command G. And now whenever I click on them, they are together and they'll move around. But if I wanted to combine them, I can group them and then combine them. Look what happens when I combine. it makes a hole where they were combined. Depending on where your layer is, it will create a hole, or sometimes it joins it all together as one piece. Louise is saying her screen is blurry. One thing, it might be blurry if you're using, sometimes if you're on Safari, it will look a little blurry. If you're on Chrome, it won't. But I'm not sure why that is. I can see it. I'm on Chrome here on my iPad, and I can see it really well. So, all right. So that is a little bit of a tutorial on group and combine and break apart. And of course, I can come back in here and I can break apart, and now they are two objects, but they are grouped together. See how they're still grouped when I click on them? So sometimes you'll hear me say use break apart and then ungroup, because it sometimes does not break apart, just breaks it apart. It doesn't ungroup them, if that makes a little sense. So let's look at some designs and work with a design. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this SVG, and it's just going to go right to stitches. And this is a little pair of boots, and these are little, rain boots. And when I brought them in, they're individual pieces like that. So I could, of course, select them all, and I could do my Command G for grouping. And now when I click on it, it brings it all together. So I can move it around as one group. If I combine this, and let me undo, because undo is your friend. There we go. Let's see how that is. All right. So now I want to combine, say I combine them. Look what happens when I combine them. I'm going to select them both, and then I'm going to do the Command L. And now they've turned all one color, and they're really considered one piece. So when they stitch, if we went to stitch flow, well, not stitch flow, slow redraw. I did drink coffee today. I should be fine. Here we go. Let's get this going. So you can see it's just going to keep going. It's giving you jump stitches in there, and it does have some, parts to it, but they're all one color and it stitches all together. So it made it all one piece. All right, it's all one object now. And we can undo that and go back to our parts if we wanted to work with our parts. So let me just take this guy. I'm going to group it. So I'll do Command G, and I'm just going to move it over here. Now I'm going to go get another design, and it's over here. I'm going to take these little gloves. I'm going to bring those in. And of course, these have more parts, so you can see. Ooh, that's kind of weird. I don't want to do that. That makes that finger funny. There we go. So, but these are all parts like that. All right, but I want to add this to the other page, and I could have brought it in a different way so that I could just copy paste it to the other page. But I wanted to show you when I select this and I copy this, and then I go over here to my other page and I paste it here. When you paste something, it groups it. So when I right click on this, you'll see ungroup. So if you copy paste something into your work, it's going to stay grouped, just so you remember that. And so on the blurriness, is it, because mine isn't blurry. It's just that the print is small. Are the pictures blurry on the let me see. Is there, oh, okay. So let me know if the picture is blurry or if it's just the little tiny print that's blurry. Teresa's asking, is there a way to lock and unlock parts of designs that you finished on to hold in place while working on other parts of the design? That's a good question. I don't think there's a way to do that. Let me look at in view. I don't think we have a tool like that. I see what you're saying is when I'm working on the hands, you want the shoes to stay in one position. Okay, so I'm going to switch questions here because the little tiny print, because it's so small, it is going to look a little blurry. Okay, it's just that so it's a little blurry. The little tiny things will be blurry. Yeah, I don't know. I will ask. Maybe I'm missing it somewhere. I don't think there's a way. When I right click on here, I don't have any. No, I don't have any options here. But I'll ask because maybe I'm missing, that part somehow. But I don't think I am. I think everything is here. That. All the toolbars. Yeah, I don't think we have that feature, but that's something we could ask about. All right. So these are already grouped. If I wanted to, I could, of course, ungroup them, or I could combine them. And when I combine them, they become all one piece and one color. All right. Usually it takes on what's on the top, and it will take that over for everything. All right, so let me show you one other thing that you can do with Combine. And I'm going to bring in, actually I'm going to do this. I think I have it open already. There it is. All right, so let's say you bring in, this is part of my logo for Kimberly Imo, and I just wanted to bring this part in because this is the part that people are always asking about. Do you see in the B here we have white in the center of the B, and same thing in the O. And if I selected that and deleted it, what happens is the blue stitches come right over. There's nothing to hold them in place. So they do this kind of thing. All right, so I'm going to put them back in. Same thing with the O. When the O goes away, it fills it in as a solid item. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this back and undo this. So one thing you can do is you can use Combine to remove that. So I have the white selected, and then I'm going to select the blue. I can right click and do Combine, or I can use the command. Now when it did that, it took away the center, but it's still white there because that's the background of the piece. So if I deleted the white, I'm going to come over here to the used color so I can get all the white background. It took that away. So all of these other ones, if I select the white and the blue and I combine, you can see it opens up that space. So that's an easy way to work with lettering to get that inside part to go away. Yeah, so Heather's given us an option on when she wants certain parts to stay the way you want them. You can, one of the things you can do to get around this too, what they're talking about is when you're working on a big design or even a small one and you have several parts, but you don't want them to move out of their position, you could save that page the way it is and then copy off the parts you want to work with and then bring them back into the same position. The originals will be in the position. You can delete the original and put the new one in. That's one way you can do them. And so there's lots of ways to work around that if you want to. So we'll have to look for that tool. All right, and ask for that tool. So that's an easy way when working with your logos that you can remove the background by using the Combine feature. And I forget to do that sometimes. I usually tell people select all, right click, shaping, trim. Does the same thing. A lot more steps. So if you're just selecting the two parts and you can use the Control L, Command L, combine, that takes it away. So there you go with that. So I'll show you again on this B. I have both parts of the B selected. I can use my Command L, and there it goes. And it turned it the white because the white was the first color I chose, but I could easily have that selected and turn it blue. And I used my used color clip down here to change that. Now these letters came out not so good, and I've talked about this before. Little tiny fonts, sometimes you have to go in and either hand draw them or edit their nodes. And like on this one, I'm just going to show you really quick. Look at those nodes. I would have to push this one up. I would have to bring this one here and put a node there. I would have to add a node. Like that, and then just play around with this. It might be easier for me to delete this like that and then just go to my digitize outline shape and make my lines this way. Just outline what I want. And then I could go back. I know that little corner's off. I could go back afterwards and make it like perfectly on the lines there if I wanted to. So I would do it this way. There we go. Select it. I don't want an outline, and there it is. And then I would have to work with stitch flow. Sometimes will help get these in the right way. Sometimes you have to work with your stitch flow to get your lettering correct. This is really tiny, so I'd have to play with that a little bit. So that just gives you a little idea of, working with fonts. That's one of the biggest things people work with is text and logos and graphics. So these are just a little bit of tools to use. There's not one way to do a graphic. I mentioned that this morning. There's not just, when you say you need help with your graphic, you have to let us know what you're doing with the graphic first, because maybe you brought it in as a background and you're using the digitize tool, or maybe you brought it in as artwork and then you can select parts of it. So there are those videos I did on that, 9, 10, and 11 on Artistic Digitizer Skill Builder 9, 10, and 11, so you can peruse those a little bit. But let me show you something fun with Combine. Let's say I make this rectangle here, and then I'm going to go up to my tools, and I'm going to go to Clip Art Library, Insert Clip Art, and I'm going to go to Heart, and I'm going to pick my favorite heart right there, and I'm going to insert it. This is a click and drag. So there it is, like that. And it's going to come in. I'd like it to have a fill. So it has a fill right there. And I'm going to click off of it so you can see. Then I'm just going to take it and put it right on top of here. And I'm going to go to my rectangular array. I think the array has been one of my favorite tools lately. I don't know why, but I really like it. And I'm just going to have, well, maybe I could fit more than that in there. Let's see. I could probably make this 4, maybe even 5. There we go. And make them a little closer. And I could just set them right where I want them. Apply it. And then there I have it. They're on top of there. But if I select it and I do Command L, I now have these little openings, and if I don't want the outlines in there, I can come here, see how that's down in my used colors. I can click on the X, it's the only outline selected, and it'll take that outline away. Now I used a very small design. This is only, it's only a 1/2 inch high, so these are very, very tiny. But see how you can make holes in things with your Combine. Isn't that fun? Such a surprise. Kim is saying such a surprise because I have her little thing over here. I've been using it. I use it a lot for my demos, Kim. It's a really, really easy one. Hello there. Let's see. We've got some other people saying hello. And is it Olivier or Oliver? I think it's Olivier. And I'm terrible with, this is why I have an easy name. It's Anne, so I don't have any trouble. All right. So let me see. I'm going to go back to the camera, because I think I showed everything. Oh, let me think about that. There was one thing. I think I've showed everything with Combine. I'm looking at my notes. So I talked about copy and paste. When you combine, they become one piece. Remember, undo is your friend and break apart. You want to make sure you remember about break apart. There's times that you're going to need to use break apart. So let me go back to the camera and we'll see what's going on here. All right, so do we have any questions on group or combine? I kind of gave you something fun to do with combine, so I think that's kind of cool. I love to make, other things out of something else, and using combine in this way to make those holes like I did with the heart, you could make some interesting textured fabric for something that you're going to put in a project. Maybe on the front of maybe you have something you're embroidering, but you really want just an opening in that itself. You want to cut a hole in there for something. You can do that. Maybe even a letter. You could do that with a letter and have, cut it apart that way. All right, let me see. So any more questions on here? I'm looking back to see if there's anything there. And I apologize if it's blurry. I think what it is sometimes the print on the screen, of course, in those little tools on the side and across the top is very, very tiny. But they're always in the same place. So hopefully by me pointing them out, you'll still be able to tell what they are, even if you can't read the word that's underneath them. Okay? All right. This is really just a quick little subject today. So I think I'm all set. I'm going to go work on making some what am I doing on Thursday? I am doing couching designs. I'm going to do some couching designs. So get your yarn and your couching foot ready to go. And I'll be talking about all of that, how to set your machine up, how actually to make your designs for that. There's a couple different tips you can use for that kind of thing. And then you'll have a whole new world of creativity to work with. I'll leave you that for the weekend, so that'll be really fun. All right, everybody, I think I'm going to go today. Just a short one. They don't always all have to be long. Remember, next Tuesday I will be traveling, so there will not be a live on Tuesday. But of course, I'm always here on Thursday somehow. I always make that work out. I'm waiting for the time I'll do one in an airport. That would be kind of fun. Unless I'm on a plane, then I can't really do it. So, all right, everybody, have a great day. And if you need anything, post it to the page. Remember, we're here to help you with it. Oh, that's what I want to remind people, that our page is for learning the software and helping each other with the software. And I did block a couple people today. They were actually businesses that do digitizing for other people. And that's not what our page is about. Our page is about helping you learn the software and helping each other. So I do like to have if you ask a question, the comments put all the comments in there. If you're helping someone, put the comments in there. Instead of taking it off to a private message, let's keep it all together and describe what you need help with. We've got some very open questions like, help, I don't know, I can't do this. And then I'll direct you to a couple of videos. And so try out the video and then come back with a screenshot of, I tried this, I don't understand it. And then help us to help you. And that's how. I can't read your mind. And sometimes I know what you're trying to do, but I need to know so I don't end up spending a lot of time, answering the wrong way. And other people will help too. So that's my little message for today. I will see all of you hopefully Thursday, 3 p.m. on the Janome Sewing Machine page. It's right down here at the Janome Sewing Machine page, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, as I talk about couching and how to create it in the Artistic Digitizer software. Bye for now, everybody. Have a great day. Stay cool.